In the distant lands, there lies a region known as the Do-D continent. The Do-D continent is a land of extraordinary fertility within the human realm, though, compared to the ghost realm and the Ein-Soul heaven, it is undoubtedly weaker. The Do-D continent is divided into 4 separate continents based on its overall landmass. To the north of the Do-D continent lies the Tianqing continent, where the immortal sacred flame, linked to Xiao Yan's immortal golden body, stands tall. To the south, there is the Haohai continent, a unique land floating above water, yet its strength is surprisingly formidable. To the west lies the Xinling continent, where Xiao Yan first arrived when he came to the Do-D continent. The mystic 3 heavens and the colorful scaled creatures make their home here. And to the east of the Do-D continent lies the core of the entire 4 continents of the Do-D continent, Doyun continent. Doyun continent is home to a gathering of prodigies, the true stronghold of the 4 continents. Even the ancient 8 great races, as well as the Holy See and many other powerful forces, have established their presence here. At this very moment, strange events were unfolding on Doyun continent. Miss Xun'er, it seems like our presence has been detected. 2 graceful figures moved quickly through a dense forest. From their appearance, it was clear they were evading something. But after a short while, one of the women spoke. Ever since we left the Gu clan, I've had a vague feeling that someone is following us, but I haven't confirmed their whereabouts. Sister Gu Qing, are these enemies? The graceful figure asked, her dark eyes narrowing slightly in obvious anger. Her long, flowing black hair cascaded down her back, and her flawless face, like that of an otherworldly fairy, was captivating. Her graceful figure was like a divine beauty that one couldn't help but admire. And this figure was none other than Xiao Yan's beloved Xun'er. It should be members of the Holy See. After a moment of silence, Gu Qing spoke, her voice tinged with helplessness. Though her own strength was formidable, at the 9-star Do-D level, she was still restricted by the internal conflicts of the 7 great factions within the Gu clan. However, the opponents dispatched by the Holy See were undoubtedly even stronger than herself. Miss Xun'er, if anything happens, you should leave first. Gu Qing's brows furrowed slightly, deep in thought. Xun'er's immortal sacred flame, which could unlock the Gu clan's sacred flame heritage, was far too important. No matter what, Gu Qing could not allow Xun'er to be harmed. Damn them! Upon hearing this, a rare killing intent surged within Xun'er's heart. She had always been submissive within the Gu clan, but that was only to prove herself to her master, the Supreme Heavenly Emperor. Now that she had achieved her goal and had been granted a brief respite by the Supreme Heavenly Emperor to search for Xiao Yan, the Holy See's covert interference infuriated her. She couldn't hold back her anger. If they truly ruin my plans, they will regret it in the future, even if they are backed by the Angelic clan. In an instant, golden flames burst forth from Xun'er's eyes, and as the flames surged, the surrounding space seemed to collapse. Clearly, this was no ordinary flame. This was not the kind of heavenly flame from the Do-Chi continent, but something much more mysterious and powerful. This level of flame was beyond what ordinary heavenly flames could compare to. Whoosh whoosh. Move quickly. Be careful. Outside the forest, figures clad in black robes began to emerge, swiftly surrounding the entire area, trapping it completely. Qingyi Cultivator, we have completely surrounded the forest as per your orders. The 2 women inside won't be able to escape, even if they have wings. A man in white approached with a stern tone. White-robed cultivator, thank you for your hard work. Once this is done, I won't treat you poorly. The man in green robes smiled faintly, speaking to the white-robed man. It was clear from the group's attire that they were members of the Holy See. The Holy See's forces were known throughout the Do-D continent for their unified uniforms and clear hierarchy. From the lowest-level followers to the more advanced cultivators, their ranks were divided into green, white, and black robes. Among the group of black-robed cultivators, their power ranged from 7-star to 8-star Do-D, while the white-robed cultivator was at the 9-star Do-D level. Remarkably, the strongest green-robed cultivator had reached the rare and formidable half-step Do-Xian level. With such a terrifying lineup, it was clear that, despite Xun'er being a 5-star Do D and Guqing a 9-star Do D. The outcome of a confrontation would be all too obvious. Listen, those inside. The white-robed cultivator's voice rang out. Based on our information, we suspect that you hold a treasure of our Holy See. We ask that you come with us to the Holy See for further investigation. Otherwise, I will punish you all on behalf of the Holy See. In an instant, the figure of the man in green slowly ascended into the air, and then, with a furious shout, he directed it towards the forest. Boom, hum, hum. The loud sound suddenly enveloped the entire forest, reaching the ears of Xun'er and Guqing. Q. Chinny cultivator? Guqing's beautiful eyes tightly fixed on the smiling man above, and her dark eyes suddenly contracted. Her heartbeat quickened, a cold shiver running through her. Guqing, sister, what is this? Upon hearing the mighty sound, Xun'er felt her internal energy become chaotic, and a wave of shock surged within her. However, thanks to the immensely powerful Golden Emperor's sky-burning flame, she was able to easily suppress it. Sorry, Miss Xun'er, given the current situation, I'm afraid you cannot leave Doyun continent to search for your lover. Guqing's beautiful eyes also turned serious at the same time. As a native powerhouse of the Gu clan, Guqing was very familiar with the power structure of the Holy See. Furthermore, now that her strength had reached 9-star Do D, entering the 9-turn stage, even she could sense an immense aura from this green-robed cultivator. It was clear that this man's power surpassed her own, not to mention his companions. Forget it. Xun'er slowly shook her head after a while. Clearly, with the odds stacked against them, a direct confrontation would only lead to their own injuries. A queen-like, indifferent aura suddenly emanated from the corner of Xun'er's lips. In that case, Guqing, sister, let's go back. Once we're back, send me to the Holy Land. Looking at the green-robed cultivator radiating powerful energy in the sky, Xun'er smiled sweetly, as though the image of a man carrying a heavy ruler slowly appeared in her mind. Have you decided? Guqing was surprised upon hearing this. The Gu clan's holy land was said to be the resting place of the clan's most powerful ancestors, and also where their sacred flame was kept. However, without the sense of the sacred flame, no one had entered it in thousands of years. Moreover, with the recent disappearance of the Gu clan's leader and several elders, the clan had become filled with unease. At that time, the Supreme Heavenly Emperor had ignored objections and intended to send his closed-door disciple, Xun'er, into the Holy Land, only to be rejected outright by Xun'er. It seemed there was something in the Holy Land that Xun'er abhorred. Then let's go back? Guqing sighed, her tone turning softer. Once you fully control what's in the Holy Land, even the 7 powerhouse figures of the 7 celestial peaks within our clan won't stop you. By then, you'll be the new Saintess of our Gu clan. Even the Holy See will have to think twice before laying a hand on you. Guqing said with a hint of joy, her hand surreptitiously crushing a silver scroll. In an instant, the figures of the 2 women became ethereal. Next time we meet, you and that so-called son of light from the Holy See won't be so fortunate. The silver scroll appeared above the forest, and a spatial passage opened. Slowly, Xun'er and Guqing's figures merged into it. However, just before Xun'er disappeared, she caught a glimpse of the green-robed cultivator's face and aura, and a murderous intent surged within her. With thunderous rage, her voice boomed, "Bastard!" Seeing the 2 figures use the spatial formation to vanish, the green-robed cultivator cursed inwardly, his voice filled with fear. Though Xun'er was currently not very strong, for a superpower like theirs, just the background was enough to turn a sparrow into a phoenix. Not to mention, Xun'er was the most authoritative figure in the Gu clan today. Damn son of light. If the Archbishop finds out about this, my position might be at risk. Watching the 2 women disappear in an instant, the green-robed cultivator felt like crying but had no tears. The space scroll used by the 2 women was clearly something crafted by a Do Xian level expert. With his half-step Do Xian strength, he was helpless against it. My lord, what should we do now? The group of black-robed and white-robed cultivators below asked. They had followed the green-robed cultivator's orders without knowing the full details of the mission. Forget it. Let's go back for now. The green-robed cultivator slowly shook his head. Boom, hum, hum. Upon hearing this, the encirclement was immediately dissolved, and the group made their way back to the Holy See headquarters. Doyun Continent, Holy See headquarters. This was a prominent mountain range, with a beam of light reaching directly into the sky. Its light filled with dense light attribute energy, preventing any evil beings from approaching. This was the Holy See's headquarters. Why hasn't there been any news yet? It's been so long. A man in a red robe was pacing back and forth anxiously. This man was none other than the Holy See's current Son of Light. Despite his youth, his body contained the most powerful light element Do Qi in the Holy See's history, making him a true Son of Light whose future accomplishments were boundless. However, while the public only knew him as the Son of Light, few were aware of his real name, Lu Weiyang. My lord, the mission failed. Moments later, the space behind the trees rippled faintly, and the figure of a man in a green robe emerged, his face carrying a hint of guilt as he spoke. What? Failed? You, a half-step Docian, let two weak women escape from your grasp? The Son of Light's voice was filled with fury, and he let out a cold snort. My lord, if I may explain, though those two women are weak in strength, they possess a spatial scroll crafted by a Docian expert. Using it, they easily evaded our ambush, the green-robed man hurriedly explained. Despite his relatively high status, in the eyes of the Holy See's upper echelon, he was no different from a servant. To the Son of Light, his life or death was merely a matter of whim. Useless! The Son of Light glared at him with disgust and then delivered a powerful kick. A terrifying surge of energy emanated from the strike, sending the green-robed man tumbling several times. Hee. My lord, the green-robed man, determined to survive, could only grin in servile compliance. Get out of my sight, the Son of Light sneered. As soon as the words left his lips, the green-robed man cautiously retreated. Xun'er, since my birth, the Son of Light has never been denied anything. His gaze grew cold, and he muttered to himself, just wait. One day, you will kneel before me, utterly submissive. As he spoke, a pure white glow, pristine and flawless like that of a newborn infant, flickered between his brows. The Gu clan. Whoosh! The spatial tunnel shimmered briefly, opening up to a vast expanse of grassland. Xun'er, Shaoqing. A lazy voice came from an old man standing on the grass. His tone carried a hint of disbelief. Master, I wish to enter the sacred land. Xun'er stepped out of the spatial tunnel, her expression resolute as she stood before the elderly man and made her request. No, the sacred land is far too dangerous and unsuitable for you. The Supreme Heavenly Emperor replied immediately, shaking his head. Master! Xun'er's golden eyes began to glow faintly, and within them, golden flames flickered. As the flames emerged, the surrounding space became visibly agitated, as if a mysterious force within her was stirring. But sigh. Fine, the Supreme Heavenly Emperor relented, shaking his head when he saw her determined gaze. Thank you, Master. Xun'er's stubborn demeanor softened slightly, and her expression eased as she heard his agreement. Rest for today and enter tomorrow? The Supreme Heavenly Emperor asked after some thought, as if seeking her opinion. No need. There's no time like the present, Xun'er replied with a slight shake of her head. Her plans to search for Xiao Yin had been put on hold, and there was little purpose in staying with the Gu clan. She preferred to enter the sacred land early. Once she gained control of its powers, the entire Gu clan would have to follow her lead. Only then would finding Xiao Yin become much easier. Sigh. The Supreme Heavenly Emperor shook his head at her determination. He extended a pale hand, and intricate, ancient golden patterns began to emerge on his palm. The patterns quickly converged, forming a massive golden door in the void before them. This is the Sacred Land Passage. It leads to the Gu clan's sacred land and will guide you to your destination, he explained as the golden door radiated a brilliant light. Thank you, Master. Xun'er could feel the golden door resonating with the Golden Emperor's sky-burning flame within her body. She gave the Supreme Heavenly Emperor a deep bow, a faint smile gracing her lips. With a resounding boom, Xun'er stepped into the golden door, disappearing into the sacred land. The time she would spend there was uncertain, perhaps a year, a decade, or even centuries. Master, was this all part of your plan? Tears welled up in Gu Qing's eyes as she watched Xun'er resolutely enter the sacred land. Since Xun'er joined the Gu clan, the Supreme Heavenly Emperor had been personally guiding her. As her senior sister, I could clearly see the extraordinary talent she displayed in cultivation. So much so that even I fell slightly short in comparison. Yet, this remarkable woman was motivated to cultivate solely to find her beloved. Shao Qing. Love is the most painful thing in the world. I have my reasons for what I've done. You'll understand one day, the Supreme Heavenly Emperor said solemnly, responding to Xun'er's entry into the Holy Land and Gu Qing's inquiry. Perhaps, Gu Qing muttered, shaking her head slowly. Despite her strength, she held no authority to influence the decisions of the high-ranking members of the Gu clan. She sighed softly and disappeared into the distance. Xun'er, though allowing you to seek your beloved, even the child of light, was indeed part of my plan. It's all for your own good. I admit, I am not a perfect teacher. Much of this is for my personal interests, but sending you to the Holy Land is your destiny, an obligation you cannot evade. I only hope my decision is not wrong, the Supreme Heavenly Emperor murmured. Her gaze turned deep, and a profound aura surged forth, spreading across the land. This aura was even more formidable than the strength of Duan Tianhong, the master of Forged Blade Thunder Valley and a 5-star Do Xian. On the Doyun continent, a mysterious location cloaked in perpetual darkness thrummed with a powerful, oppressive force. The terrain was jagged and uneven, and dozens of formidable individuals lay motionless as though unconscious. Apart from their steady breathing, they exhibited no signs of life. However, the weakest among them radiated the aura of a 5-star Do Xian. Amid the void, strands of dark energy writhed ceaselessly, resembling vigilant sentinels patrolling the area. Suddenly, a surge of darkness emerged from the void, accompanied by an ominous pink flame flickering on its surface. The flame danced like a terrifying spirit. "How goes the task?" a shadow cloaked in the pink flame asked as it glanced at the unmoving figures. "After the Hall Master subdued them, we were ordered to monitor them day and night," one of the dark figures replied. "Additionally, our forces on the Xinling continent seem to have vanished without a trace. Even the 2 Do Xian experts sent earlier have gone missing." "Oh," the flame-shrouded figure pondered. "The strongest in Xinling continent are merely 1 or 2-star Do Xians. Who could have destroyed our Soul Hall branch there?" "I'm puzzled as well," the shadow answered. "But for now, we're stretched thin suppressing these Gu clan elites. We can only proceed cautiously." "Never mind, I'll go investigate. Stay vigilant here. Reinforcements will arrive soon. These Gu clan experts are a gift for that lord. Their combined power will ensure he obtains what he desires." With that, the pink flame figure vanished. Despite his curiosity about the scene, he trusted the Soul Hall's higher-ups to handle matters here and refrained from meddling further. "He was truly unfathomable," whispered the dark shadows. Though they were Do Xians, they trembled like ants before the pink flame figure. "What exactly is the Soul Hall planning?" murmured a middle-aged man among the unconscious figures. Slowly opening his eyes, he revealed that he had been awake for some time, feigning unconsciousness. If the Supreme Heavenly Emperor were present, she would instantly recognize him as none other than Gu Yuan, the current leader of the Gu clan. Gu Yuan's strength was said to have reached 6-star Do Xian levels thousands of years ago. Even across the entire human realm, Gu Yuan's name was renowned. Yet his true power remained a mystery to all. "Enough of this charade," Gu Yuan muttered as he rose to his feet. A flicker of cold indifference gleamed in his eyes. "What? Quick, send a distress signal." As soon as he noticed the figure of Gu Yuan standing below and his pupils opened, dozens of dark chi surged from the void, followed by an ear-splitting sound. "Oh, 6th grade immortal artifact, the binding celestial lock?" As Gu Yuan stood up, he immediately noticed a black lock on his body, its power suppressed by dark runes. He chuckled and said, "How interesting." Boom, boom, boom. Just as the demonic laughter echoed through the air, the binding celestial lock, which was strong enough to seal a 6-star Do Xian, shattered easily into dust, scattering across the sky. Not good. Run. Upon seeing this scene, the dozens of black chi beings were shaken to the core, a surge of fear rising in their hearts. Among these powerful individuals, there were many with the strength of a 4-star Do Xian, but in front of Gu Yuan, they were like ants, easily slaughtered. What is the purpose of capturing us? Gu Yuan casually waved his hand, and dozens of black chi were immediately captured in his grip. He began to interrogate them. Gu Yuan, you will die a horrible death. Several of them remained indifferent, but one black chi spoke with fury. Thud. The one who spoke was crushed instantly by Gu Yuan's grip, even their soul power vanishing in an instant. Is this the Soul Hall's plan? Where is she? Gu Yuan muttered to himself. Dream on. In response to his question, the black chi showed no signs of revealing anything, and one by one, they were completely erased by Gu Yuan. Oh, so it's such a vicious soul curse. No wonder no one mentioned it. After eliminating all the black chi, a green glow appeared in the void, carrying an extremely evil aura before suddenly exploding. The Soul Clan was already so extreme in the Do Chi continent. Now that they are in the Great Thousand Worlds, they still haven't changed their ways. Gu Yuan casually dispersed the green glow and shook his head. It was clear that the ones guarding them were also soul entities. Clan leader, where are we? I remember we entered a spatial passageway to a Soul Hall outpost. How did this happen? Slowly, the senior members of the Gu clan began to wake up after Gu Yuan wiped out all the black chi. These experts had been following intelligence that led them to a Soul Hall outpost. They had mobilized a large group of people to investigate, but were caught off guard when the Soul Hall's leader appeared. With the help of the right time and place, even the Gu clan's leader was trapped by them. It's fine. This was part of my plan. Go back to the Gu clan, but remember, don't let any other clans or even our own people find out about your whereabouts. The relationships between the ancient 7 clans are now more tense than ever. There are even ongoing internal conflicts within the Gu clan. This time, let's put an end to it all. Gu Yuan's eyes looked at the sky, murmuring, "Clan leader, aren't you going back?" One of the senior members couldn't help but ask, "Going back?" We were ambushed by the Soul Hall's leader. I haven't settled the score with her yet, Gu Yuan said, his body suddenly trembling before vanishing without a trace. Clearly, only the Soul Clan's leader and the Soul Hall's master, with their extraordinary powers, could silently suppress the Gu clan's senior members, and even Gu Yuan himself, for a time. The clan leader's power is becoming more and more mysterious. The senior members exchanged glances, then disappeared one by one into the secret passage, returning to the Gu clan without anyone noticing. Meanwhile, the situation in the Doyun continent was becoming increasingly unstable. Do-D continent. It is said that beyond the 4 continents of the Do-D continent, there is a mysterious void, one that drifts in the spatial turbulence, its position constantly changing. Even if someone were to luckily find the entrance, even a 5-star Do Xian would not dare to enter recklessly. There are many rumors about this void, such as it being a cursed place of the gods or a land of evil light. However, in this world, danger and opportunity coexist. While the space is widely talked about, it is also known to hold many benefits. Unfortunately, due to its mysterious and dangerous nature, no one has ever dared to step into it. Humans have come to call this space the Void Realm. At this moment, within the Void Realm, a familiar figure to Xiao Yin suddenly appeared. Whoosh! A deafening sound rang out, and a massive creature broke through the void, falling into the Void Realm. Buzz, buzz, buzz. At this moment, it coiled in the void, its cold aura slowly spreading. Even its body was enveloped by layers of purple golden dragon scales, completely wrapping it up, as still as ancient cold iron that had not been touched for thousands of years. Glub, glub. Suddenly, Strange waves of energy surged through this space. These energies then transformed into strands of peculiar force, heading straight toward the massive creature's body. The bizarre energy contained a dazzling brilliance, and to everyone's astonishment, it radiated in 7 distinct colors, an incredibly rare phenomenon. Where is this place? After a short while, the dragon's eyes flickered, scanning its surroundings as it mumbled to itself. It vaguely remembered that it had been attacked in the spatial corridor, causing it to separate from Xiao Yin and the others. However, after the separation, it had planned to use the primordial ancient dragon's mastery of space to re-enter the spatial passage and find Xiao Yin. But it was directly sucked into the chaotic flow of space. It had drifted in the spatial turbulence for a long time before it finally managed to arrive in this mysterious space. Buzz buzz. Moments later, the giant dragon's form transformed into that of a middle-aged man. Once this mysterious figure assumed human form, his true identity was revealed. This being was none other than Xun'er, the old dragon emperor of the primordial ancient dragon clan from the Do-Chi continent, who had separated from Xiao Yin when they ascended to the Do-Di continent. I wonder how Xiao Yin and the others are doing. Never mind, I should first figure out where this place is. After hesitating for a moment, Xun'er stepped into the void and hovered in the mysterious emptiness. Even with his keen vision, he couldn't take in the full scope of the void, a clear indication of how vast and boundless it was. At this moment, Xun'er felt a chill, and despite his thousands of years of cultivation experience, the mysteries of this space eluded him. Boom, boom, boom. Not long after, the very spot where Xun'er stood transformed into a crystalline palace. The crystal palace was like a dream, shimmering with gold and silver, its structure dazzling. 7 colored energy crystals continuously appeared, spiraling around the entire palace, as if wrapping it in a spiral pattern. Xun'er's position was right at the entrance of the spiraling crystal palace. What is this place? Xun'er let out a helpless laugh. His intuition told him that this space was far from simple. Just the strands of energy in the void were enough to leave him feeling vulnerable, let alone the suddenly appearing crystal palace. What is this place? You don't know? Just as Xun'er stood there puzzled, a melodious voice echoed slowly, filled with rare hostility. Boom! The soft, bell-like female voice now reverberated under the spiral structure of the crystal palace, becoming sharply piercing. Thud! In an instant, Xun'er felt his legs weaken, and he fell to his knees before the entrance of the crystal palace. The floor of the palace was alive with 7-colored energy, constantly shifting, creating an overwhelming sense of pressure that seemed impossible to resist. This pressure was unlike anything he had ever felt, emanating from deep within his soul, leaving Xun'er no room for defiance. Dragon clan. True dragon clan. As he knelt, Xun'er's aging face turned pale, and his eyes contracted tightly. He stared into the depths of the crystal palace, murmuring to himself. On the Do-Chi continent, there were no true dragons or phoenixes. Though the primordial ancient dragons had dragon blood, it was much diluted compared to the true dragon clan. Xun'er was fully aware of this, which is why he had been so eager to break through and ascend from the Do-Chi continent. As for his current situation, he now understood that the mysterious entity before him was likely a true powerhouse of the dragon clan. I apologize for disturbing your rest, Senior. Please forgive me. I will leave immediately. Xun'er knelt, then clenched his fists and bowed respectfully toward the depths of the palace. This place was extremely mysterious, and the being below, just the faintest voice emanating from it, was enough to bring such immense pressure. The entity's strength was likely far superior to Xun'er's. This place hasn't been visited by humans in countless years. Although you are not human, but a subdragon, to me, you are no different from an ant. The magnetic voice spoke again, carrying a touch of pride. Damn! Taking advantage of the moment the voice spoke, Xun'er tried to use his Do-Chi to break free. However, to his dismay, he found that no matter what techniques he used, he could not escape in the slightest. Don't bother. Stay and keep me company. Soon, the magnetic voice spoke again. Buzz buzz. Damn it! When Zhu Kuan saw this, his dou qi surged to its limits, his veins bulging. Yet he still couldn't break free from the restraints. The seven-colored energy before him contained an overwhelming dragon's might that could shake the heavens, making Zhu Kuan feel an irresistible urge to submit, with no resistance in sight. Shoo! The seven-colored energy completely enveloped Zhu Kuan's body, immediately beginning to extract his memories. Ah! Trapped by the seven-colored light, Zhu Kuan couldn't help but scream in agony, though nothing else occurred besides his memories being read by this mysterious figure. Dou Qi Continent? Primordial Ancient Dragon? In just a few minutes, the magnetic voice let out a startled exclamation. A male subdragon. What a pity. However, it seems you have offspring on the Dou Qi Continent, a gifted little girl. Her name appears to be Yin. It seems the heavens truly favor me this time. The magnetic voice suddenly burst into laughter. Who are you? What do you want? After a brief moment, the restraints and seven-colored energy vanished, and Zhu Kuan returned to normal. Come here. Wait until you break through to Dou Xian, and then I'll personally bring Yin over. When that time comes, I'll pour all my effort into raising a true dragon god. Golden Dragon King. The grudge from last time. This time, I'll make sure it's settled. The magnetic voice spoke slowly, then took control of Zhu Kuan, leading him deeper into the palace. In an instant, the crystal palace returned to its void-like form and disappeared. But within the void realm, the most mysterious existence was undoubtedly the true ruler with dragon blood inside the crystal palace. Zhu Kuan had been captured by this great power, and whether this was a blessing or a curse, no one could say. Meanwhile, in the human realm's Dou Qi continent, shocking events unfolded, and the ghost realm's Soul heaven over the eastern continent also heated up. Dad, this Yin. In the Forged Blade Hall, a group of high-ranking members from the Forged Blade Thunder Valley and disciples participating in the Four Continents competition gathered, creating a lively atmosphere. There's no rush with the seclusion matter. Duan Tianhong stood aside, sipping his tea. Originally, they planned to depart for the Four Continents competition in a month, but Yin had been in seclusion for 2 months without showing any signs of awakening, which puzzled everyone. It's been 2 months, Duan Qifei said in surprise. While no one knew what level of heavenly seed Yin had consumed, this delay seemed a bit long. Don't worry, although the Four Continents competition is imminent, Yin won't disappoint us, Duan Tianhong said meaningfully. After all, they still had 3 months before the competition. Finally, it's almost time. At that moment, in the treasure hall inside the Forged Blade Thunder Valley, Yin slowly opened his eyes and smiled. This seclusion took almost 2 months. I originally planned to consume the heavenly seed in 1 month, but I ended up wasting a bit more time. However, during this time, I've managed to refine and balance the many powers inside me. Now, I'm probably the strongest person below 2-star Dou Xian. Yin clenched his fist, feeling the dazzling power within him, his deep eyes flashing as he smiled. This guy. Seeing Yan's fiery great heavenly seed flame burning intensely in his fist, only slightly weaker than the sacred flame, the devourer of souls couldn't help but smile. Going to the Four Continents competition next, the opponents will surely be stronger, so you should use your sacred flame sparingly. Before leaving, the devourer of souls also reminded him. Master, don't worry. I know what I'm doing. Yin nodded, acknowledging his master's concern. The Soul Heaven's 4 continents were far more complex than the Eastern continent. The 4 continents were full of hidden dragons and crouching tigers. If his sacred flame was exposed, it could attract unnecessary trouble. However, with the power of the great heavenly seed, he could cover up the sacred flame. Since you're ready, let's go meet up with the main group. After murmuring a few words, Yan's figure flickered and vanished from the spot. A sound of space shifting rang out, and Yan's figure reappeared in the Forged Blade Hall. You brat, you really have the luck of the heavens. Upon seeing Yin appear, Feng Yu punched him playfully, laughing. While Yin was in seclusion, they had learned of his impressive feats and immediately burst into laughter. Your power, Seems a bit strange. At that moment, Mu Gu turned around and spoke to Xiao Yin. Mu Gu, who was currently at the early stage of 3-star Docian, found it difficult to see through Xiao Yan's power. The strength within Xiao Yin was simply too terrifying. Where's the Valley Master? After greeting everyone, Xiao Yin immediately asked Duan Qifei, "The Valley Master is out? How about you? Have you recovered?" Yun Qi, seeing this, hopped over to Xiao Yan's side and asked with concern, "Some people have no heart and no soul. I helped you obtain such a great thing, yet you didn't even say thank you. It really breaks my heart." Seeing Xiao Yin and Yun Qi growing closer, Duan Qifei's delicate face, whether out of jealousy or simply her natural disposition as a girl, couldn't help but show a trace of aloofness as she coldly huffed. Xiao Yin, upon hearing this, looked at Yun Qi and Duan Qifei, both standing in opposing stances, and couldn't help but silently groan. They say that beautiful women bring trouble, but here he clearly hadn't done anything to provoke them, and yet he was still treated like this. Hee hee. All right, everyone, rest for now. Tomorrow morning, I'll lead you all to the 4 continents competition. With a shift in the air, Duan Tianhong appeared to diffuse the tension. All right. Dozens of strong individuals nodded in response before leaving the Forged Blade Hall. You all should rest too. Tomorrow, we'll be leaving here. Seeing that Xiao Yin and the others still hadn't left, Duan Tianhong spoke again. Farewell. Xiao Yin had just emerged from seclusion and hadn't properly rested. After greeting everyone, he immediately headed towards his residence. If you like him, why not just say it? As everyone left, only Yun Qi and Duan Qifei were left in the Forged Blade Hall. Yun Qi's beautiful eyes fixed on Duan Qifei as she said this. Given Yun Qi's powerful spiritual energy and the intuition of a girl, it wasn't hard for her to guess. I wish it were that simple, but my identity is special, so it's destined that there will be no outcome with him. Besides, even my father can't see through his identity. He must not be as simple as he seems. At this moment, Duan Qifei seemed like a completely different person. Her beautiful eyes were filled with a hint of helplessness as she shook her head. This is the ghost realm. It's not a place for humans to live. We will have to return to the human realm eventually. If I were you, I would pursue him without hesitation. Regardless of the outcome, as long as your heart is clear, it will be enough. Yun Qi slowly shook her head, left behind these words, and then turned to leave without looking back. Pursue him without hesitation, to have no regrets? But what if I have regrets? At this moment, a faint trace of tears appeared in Duan Qifei's beautiful eyes. Clearly, since activating the reincarnation fluctuations, the power of the Thunder Lord had subtly begun to seep through her, causing her to know some things. Among these things was the fact that Xiao Yin was from the Xiao clan and even had connections with the Thunder Lord. However, Duan Qifei was unwilling to speak of it. This eastern continent really is a great place. Returning to his residence, Xiao Yin finally felt the extremely pure heavenly energy of the Thunder Realm and couldn't help but speak. Previously, in the Do Chi continent, without the source energy, one couldn't step into the realm of Do Di. But in places like the Do Di continent, or in Soul Heaven, source energy was abundant and even integrated into the natural energy of the world. As for the problem of source energy depletion in the Do Chi continent and its abundance in the Do Di continent, it was probably related to the difference in plane levels. However, it was unquestionable that the plane level of the Do Di continent was certainly not as high as that of the Ghost Realm or in Soul Heaven, especially evident from the number and quality of Docian experts. Alright, you brat, take some time to familiarize yourself with the heavenly seed. There will be challenges for you in the 4 continents. Seeing Xiao Yin suddenly become sentimental, the Devourer of Souls spoke directly. I wonder how the 4 continents competition will go.